Okay, hey y'all. I'm Dee from Embodied Sexuality Tarot. I am a spiritual practitioner who loves to bridge spirituality and practicality by helping nurture body and spirit, improve a relationship with self and others. Okay, and so I like to provide insight advice, spiritual guidance, relationship guidance, so that you have information needed to make the best decisions for yourself on your journey. Okay. And before we get started, this is the bracelet I'm wearing today, handcrafted, available in my shop while supplies last. Okay, so go ahead and visit my Ko-Fi shop if you would like to look at my jewelry or book a reading. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and open up for those who are tuning into this video, and may there be any messages here about your relationship. And actually, let's tune into family relationships because I just feel like, oops, sorry. Let's tune into family relationships because I'm feeling that right now. So go ahead and tuning in. Any messages that need to be heard and honored about relationships with family. Okay, so we got the Emperor here. And we got the Devil at the back of the deck. Let's go ahead and clarify the Emperor card. Change. Wisdom. Okay, so somebody is showing up as the Emperor. They're an authoritative figure. There's something about the eyes that I'm being drawn to. Red eyes. I feel like this person is not a nice person. And maybe it's because they're coming from like a lack mindset or like survival. They could be a narcissist, but ultimately I feel like they may be in survival mode because the chest behind them, like they're protecting their assets. They're protecting their assets, protecting their throne, and it's like they rule with an iron fist. So usually, this is like my experience in real life. Usually this is like a parental figure, all right, that can be very strict. And they could be one of those parents that are like, I gave birth to you, or I gave you a roof over your head, so you owe me like for the rest of your life, right? And it's like, okay, but I don't. Why do I have to suffer like with your negative attitude and all that just because you did the basic care for me, right? So I sense. I don't feel like this is a good relationship between you because it feels like the Emperor is trying to hold something over your head. Like I just said, oh, well, I put a roof over your head, or I loaned you money, or so this person feels like they tally up and are trying to. We also have the Devil at the back of the deck. And so it feels like, yeah, they're trying to hold things over your head. And also they want you to be dependent on them. Okay. With the Devil card, and we also have Five of Swords underneath that. I feel like this is somebody that you love. You have an innate love for them, even though there's conflict between you. Five of Swords. You may feel like they back you into a wall, but ultimately you still have love for them. I feel like this person has hurt you numerous times. But I just see this with the Lover's card, where this is somebody, again, could be a parental figure, could be a sibling, but it's someone just, very close to you. So yeah, parental figure or sibling for majority of you. It could also be someone who is like a sibling, like a brother, like a sister to you. Okay. But for some of you, so we have Santa Muerte as well. So this could be somebody that could be like a parent to you. Could be an older sibling that took on the role of a parent for you. Just something like that. But either way, there's a relationship showing up where this person just kind of feels very guarded, very in survival mode, stressed out, and that's really impacting how they're communicating with you. Okay? But we also have this change card here. So why do we have the change card? I feel like something about this relationship needs to change in order for it to get better, right? What's going on with the change card here? Something about, being a chameleon. So I feel like because this person has treated you this way, that you've had to... So there's something that like children develop. So when parents are unpredictable, the child develops some sort of anxiety because they don't know what response they're going to get from the person, right? So with this change card and like the chameleon, I just feel like you've kind of had to anticipate what mood they're in when you approach them, or just kind of, I don't want to say match their energy isn't right, but you've had to adapt your response to what mood they're in order to kind of keep the peace or navigate the situation. All right, what else is going on here? Okay, Wheel of Fortune. So something about this situation is changing. Like some sort of cycle is completing. So the Wheel of Fortune, starting out one way, and then, so we have Wheel of Fortune, and then we also have the Change card. And then we also have Three of Pentacles at the back of the deck. Okay, so there's some sort of watering of the relationship that's going to help change the tides, or something about the tides, the flow of the connection. I'm being shown water, something about emotion. So I'm being shown the ocean. Okay, so it might be helpful to take them to the ocean and have a conversation there. It might be that you guys used to go to the ocean years ago, and so maybe going back will kind of bring up some old emotions and kind of allow them to feel vulnerable, something like that. But I'm being shown water, so it could be in a literal sense, or it could be, well, ultimately the emotions are involved. But yeah, I just feel like, maybe taking them to that setting can kind of help them be a little bit more vulnerable. Okay. What else is going on here? For some of you, the relationship, a challenge with the relationship is not being... There's something... Okay, hold on. Where's the... So we just had the Wheel of Fortune. Wait, where is she? Okay, I can't find her. Anyway, we just had the Wheel of Fortune, and there was a light, the one in white and the one in black. So I feel like for some of you, this has to do with some sort of alter ego, or just a light and shadow side. So I don't know if this is you or the other person, but it can kind of feel like maybe one of you doesn't accept the other, or just isn't vulnerable for that dark side. So for some of you, what's coming up is like, this could be just literally for one person in particular. But it could be like that you have, like, you're a drag queen or have an interest in doing something like that, having some sort of alternate identity, and the other person isn't fully accepting of that. So that's literally for like one person. But for others, it can just be, the shadow side of just not being vulnerable, not opening up. And could be like this person has a past. Okay, so I'm being drawn back to the Emperor and how he's in survival mode. So it could be that he has a past of some sort of addiction or attachment in the household. So maybe he grew up where he or she or they grew up in a household that was a dark household, not necessarily a light household. Okay, and you may not even have knowledge of that because it's not like something that they don't talk about, right? So I just feel like there's this hidden aspect from the light and dark version of what you know and what you don't know about each other. Okay. Whew. All right, let's get into how to support this connection. How do we heal this connection? All right. How do we heal this connection? We got Five of Wands. Okay. We got Six of Cups. All right. How do we heal this connection? Wisdom. Let go. How do we heal this connection? Keys on a Ring, cassette, and breakup, separation. Okay, so for a few of you, it would be beneficial to take space from the person. Okay, so for some of you, you might be, kind of hitting your head against a wall and don't really know what to do. But it could be beneficial to just take more space from the person, because if you're less involved with them, then what am I trying to say here? It just seems like maybe too much interaction is causing, a lot of discomfort and stress and confusion. And so just kind of taking that break, that space, can help just kind of clear things up a little bit, and also allow you guys to miss each other, and when people miss each other, then they tend to be a little bit more kind. So yes, for some of you, there's something about, just taking space. And also too, I said something about the Emperor wants you to be dependent on them. They want you to need them. They want you to need their resources, to need them for advice, to need them. So if you, separate and show a little bit more independence, it actually helps them realize that, wait a second, you are capable, you are, doing things. So I feel like on one hand that can trigger, that can activate them in a way where they're like, oh crap, like this person doesn't need me, like, what do I do now? How do I get them to owe me? How do I get them to still latch on to me, right? And so actually they might try a different method, which is to be kinder. So I feel like, that's something that people do. But at the end of the day, for some of you, it's really important to go ahead and, take space and also develop a plan to be a little bit more independent from this person. Okay. What else do we have? How do we heal this connection? Okay, Five of Wands is the one that came out. Honestly, I'm really focused on that he lit the match, or that this person lit the match. So I feel that it's really interesting. I'm just going to say what I'm feeling or what I'm getting. I feel like lighting the match here is burning a way that you used to be. Because okay, we can only control ourselves, right? We can only control our behaviors, our actions. So once you light a match and kind of just say goodbye to the person you used to be, and kind of develop more independence, more space, and just kind of distance and more of your own journey, your life. Okay, also Cancer here, let go. Once you kind of, let go, release, and pull back, then really you're kind of saying goodbye to this version of you that was so engaged in this relationship, so hurt by this relationship. And by saying goodbye to that, lighting a match to that, you're able to kind of, I'm being shown a phoenix, rebirth, right? So something about rising from the ashes, right? So once you kind of, honestly, it kind of feels like setting ablaze to this old version of you, or old habits, things that you used to do in this relationship, feelings that you carry. Because we also have Six of Cups here. Sometimes we hold on to old memories and think like, oh, okay, it can be like that once again. This is the person I know. This is who I know them to be, but they never go back to that. It never goes back to that. So I just feel like, see, Five of Cups as well. So I feel like you could be holding on to a version of them that you're hoping to see again that, hasn't shown back up. So really, honestly, Five of Wands, I just feel like, hey, it's time for you to kind of set ablaze these old habits, this old version of you, this hope for something different, and just kind of wisen up and start on a new path. Okay, so again, and then we also have, look, cassette, outdated thinking, replaying events over in your head, right? So there's this energy of rising from the ashes, burning it down, coming out anew, all right, becoming wiser, and literally just kind of making decisions that are best for you, moving forward. What's funny is they're showing me, those action movies where, like, Key and Peele did a sketch on this too for humor, but it's I'll talk about the Key and Peele version, but basically, like in movies, the main character, they'll blow up a car, or like as the car is blowing up, they're walking away from it in slow motion and putting on their sunglasses like it didn't even phase them, right? So that's what they're showing me in my mind, where it's like, okay, it's time for you to set that thing off and walk away, put your shades on, and move forward. So that's what I see with the cards. Of course, you're free to make your own decisions about what's going on in your life, but I just kind of feel that a change is absolutely necessary, a change in you. And remember, we had that chameleon, that change card. Okay, so change starts with you. That's when things start to go differently, when you do something differently. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave you with an aftercare card. It could help you process this reading, or just something that you can implement for your self-care if you choose. Okay, we have I am accepting. I calmly accept the unexpected. Oops, hold on. There it is. Okay. I am accepting. I calmly accept the unexpected. All right. And I heavily feel like we had the crab card, Cancer card. You know, they're really resistant to change. Crabs can really latch on and hold on to relationships, especially with family members or somebody who is like family, right? So it can be really hard to let those things go. So this is an affirmation for you. Feel free to repeat it, or use it to kind of help you start making change or move towards change or some sort of transition in yourself that can reflect in this relationship. Okay, so good luck on your journey. Best of wishes to you. You are amazing. You are light. You are love. Take care.